What's going on, Legion of Zen? Today we have a very special episode. I am going to be unboxing a DSG grading box that I got. I sent in some cards to get graded and, well, got them back. Let's take a look. So we are going to go into an in-depth look at DSG grading, how their cards are graded, basically taking a look at the returns that we got and seeing exactly why they got specific grades that they got. So I have yet to see what the grades are. We're going to take a look at them and let's see if they're any good, and let's see if I pick some good cards to send. All right, so we do have the Diamond grading or Diamond Service grading right here. The box is a black box, a little banged up, not a big deal. This is how it came in the mail. USPS dropped it off. And not bad. I mean, not bad. Sealed, very well sealed. So let's get into it. Let's see what's inside the box. Here we go. Very well packaged, very well sealed. So it definitely looks like they nobody's gotten into it, which is nice. There's that DSG label on there, which does help a lot. Take that out real quick. We're gonna pop this open. It looks like everything is very well bubble wrapped in here, and so they put plenty of bubble wrap in the box, so that's pretty good. Let's move the box out of the way here and let's get into this. Now, this is sealed very well as far as I can tell here. All right, getting into this. Now, one of the cool things about DSG grading is that they graded pretty quickly. The turnaround was, well, I placed the order August 31st. That's when I placed the order, not necessarily when I shipped the cards out. I actually shipped the cards out several days later. And I did receive them today. Today is 9/30, which means they had my cards for less than 30 days. So that's pretty good. That is definitely a good turnaround. I am trying to get these out. All right, so getting the cards out of the packaging was a little rough, but that's all right. So let's do this. We are going to go from top to bottom on these cards. And one of the things that they are all about is transparency. So they basically say that you can take a look at these cards online and you can see where the issue was on your particular card. So we're going to take a look at that stuff as well. I am going to show you guys. Now, this is the very first card here. We're going to kind of go in reverse, but this is the very first card here. This is a Super Dragon Ball Heroes sample card. Now, this, we're going to turn around. This is not what a normal Super Dragon Ball Heroes card looks like on the back. This is just a sample card. They're actually pretty rare, and so I figured why not send it in for grading. So here we go. Very first card is a 2019 Super Dragon Ball Heroes Gem Mint 10. This is Universe Mission 11, Vegito, and that's UM11 GCP7 sample card. So it's pretty cool. They put on there that it is a sample card, and that did get a 10. So pretty awesome right there. Now we could scan this QR code and see exactly what happened to this card, or if it was, you know, like not a 10. But they tell you the centering. They kind of break the card up into 4 different quadrants. And what they do is, like, if there's an issue on one of the, I don't know, a corner over here, that is on this quadrant over here, and it'll tell you, 0 through 4. And 0 being no damage, 1 being slight damage, 2 being moderate, and I believe 3 being, like high damage, and then 4 is extreme damage. So this is actually a really cool looking card. These cards look absolutely gorgeous in the slab. The slab is frosted, much like a PSA slab is. Now these slabs are, I believe, what they call a polycarbonate, and they are supposed to be extremely durable, and you shouldn't be able to break into them. In fact, they do mention that they're designed to not be cracked open. If you did crack them open the regular method, then you could potentially even damage the card. That is a good and a bad thing in my personal opinion. Some people do want to break cards out of the slab if they don't agree with a particular grade and they want to resend it, or they just don't want to be held to the whatever slab they got. And so that is a downside, but there are remedies for that. They did mention that they could be opened up, used properly with like a screwdriver, though they don't recommend that you do it. They do have tools in order to do it though. So this is actually 2019 Super Dragon Ball Heroes Universe Mission 11 Sun Goten, and this is also a Gem Mint 10. So we got some 10s to start things off here. Very nice. These cards are looking absolutely gorgeous. All right, here we go. Another sample card for Super Dragon Ball Heroes, and we've got ourselves a Sun Gohan, and this is a Mint 9. Mint 9. So we are going to take a look at the QR code on this one. We're going to take a look and see why it got a 9, and I'm going to put that up on the screen right now. All right, guys, so let's take a look at the first one, and I'm going to show you guys first an explanation of what you're looking at. All right, let's take a look. So you've got the card information right here. This is Super Dragon Ball Heroes Universe Mission 9. It gives you all the information of the card that is already on the label. So that's the information there. You've got the DSG grade report, and then you've got front center and back center. You've got a fraction pretty much saying what side is a little bit heavier on the centering. This card in particular got a 55 out of 45, so 55 on the left-hand side, 45 on the right, meaning I believe it's a little bit thicker on the left-hand side, just slightly, right? Kind of like if it was down the middle, it would be 50-50, right? So there you go. Now, what else do we have here? We've got the different zones for the front of the card. Zone 1, Zone 2, 3, and 4. And as you can see, all of these in Zone 1 got a 0, all of the Zone 2 got a 0, all of Zone 3 got a 0, and Zone 4 got a 1 in the corner. Now, what does that mean? All right, we're going to keep going down here. We see that this is a Mint 9 card. There's the card ID. There's the date it got graded. And the grading notes. There's a scale. So you got 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, 0 is no damage, 1 is slight damage, 2 is moderate damage, 3 is heavy damage, and 4 is extreme damage. All right, so what does this tell us? Okay, corner Zone 4 got a 1. So slight damage on corner Zone 4. So that's not too bad. That's not a big deal. We are going to take a look at this and see what potentially could have happened here. So looking at the picture of the scanned card, there is definitely something going on here on the left-hand corner. After looking at the card, I do see that there is a very, very slight issue there on the right-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner. So that's pretty decent. It's not a big deal. It's not a lot of damage. That's why it got just a 1. So that's pretty good. All right, so that one got a 9. Let's take a look at this next one. Another sample card. Gem Mint 10 Son Goku. This card looks absolutely gorgeous. Check that out. Another beautiful rare sample card right there. And this is what the label looks like. Now, this is the Arcane label. This is a special label that was created by Chris Campman. It was designed by Chris Campman, an artist that is actually an artist for MetaZoo now. All right, guys, the next card here is a Super Dragon Ball Heroes card as well. And this one is a Son Goku sample card. This is a 9, Gem Mint 9 right there, as you guys can see. Again, these cards look absolutely phenomenal. And I did change my camera angle because I thought that it would be easier for me to show you guys these cards a little bit better here as a close-up instead of the top-down angle. And also to prevent some glare as well. Though you guys are probably seeing the reflection of me there. But that's pretty much what we're looking at right here is, you know, why this got a 9. Let's take a look. The second card we're going to look at is the Beerus 9. The Beerus 9, we're going to take a look at the report here real quick. And the report shows that the Beerus 9 had a front center of 55-45, a back center of 55-45. The top left corner, zone 1, got a 1 slight damage. And if you look at zone 3, also on the front, the corner has slight damage as well. Now, I can tell you after looking at this card, it is accurate. There are bits of damage there on those corners. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. I would have to say that that is accurate right there. They also have a scan. So you can see the scan, and I'll zoom into the scan there so you can see if there's any issues on the scan itself. All right, the next card here is a MetaZoo card. Let's take a look at this MetaZoo card. Again, you guys can check out that QR code right there. It tells you exactly why your card got a specific grade. Now, before we flip that over, actually, we are going to take a look here. This card is looking pretty nice on the back. I'm only seeing a bit of centering issues from the naked eye. This side is a little bit thicker than this side, but let's see what it got. All right, so that got a 10 despite the little bit of centering issue that this card looked like it had. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean if there's some centering issues, doesn't necessarily mean you don't get a 10. They put it into the system. Again, the grading is done by numbers and some sort of an algorithm that they have, and that algorithm is what determines what grade your card gets, not the person grading it. The person grading it, from my understanding, just inputs the number, whether it be 0 being the best, 1 slight damage, 2 moderate damage, 3 I think high damage, and again 4 is extreme damage. I mean, so when, if like for example, if there was an issue here in the corner and it got a 3, that 3 would get put into the system for that quadrant, and then if that was the only issue, then their algorithm will calculate that for you. Will calculate the grade for you. So that's pretty much how it works. Now this is a 10, Loveland Frogman, and this is from the 2021 MetaZoo Cryptid Nation First Edition. So this is actually a really cool looking holo. This is my favorite card from MetaZoo. I'm kind of still on the fence about MetaZoo, in all honesty. There are a few cards that I really like this card in particular. But I would say that I'm not 100% sold yet, though I think that the next set is going to be a little bit better from what I'm being told by the artist. All right. MetaZoo, again, this one is looking a little bit... There's definitely some stuff going on there on this side. A little bit of like white specks. And I don't know if that's dust or if that is from the paint issue. But this is a 9. So I'm guessing that those little bit white specks were probably the cause of this 9 right here. This is the Ghost Train First Edition as well. And again, this is one of my favorite of the set. So really cool. The Ghost Train. Hollow number 28. Now, the centering on the Ghost Train, if you guys remember, I did mention that the Ghost Train's centering was not the best. And that one got a 60-40 front and a 60-40 back. So the centering, not super good, but you can see it very clearly in the picture that there is definitely some centering issues going on. Now, let's take a look at the card itself. The card has no issues on Zone 1. Zone 2 does have some edge damage. It is a 1 edge damage, slight damage. And that is actually looking pretty accurate there. There is definitely some very light damage going on there on that side. All right, on the edge, down on Zone 3, I'm not really seeing anything there. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's nothing, but I'm not seeing it through the slab. So it's, you know, it is what it is. I'll have to zoom in on the actual card here, and we'll see if we could spot it on the actual image. I'm not seeing it without a magnifying glass or anything on the actual card. So there's that. Now, they do have a bunch of different labels you can use. Their regular label is very nice. However, I went with this particular label just because I really like it on the MetaZoo cards. And I also thought that it would look pretty good on the Super Dragon Ball Hero cards. Now, I am probably going to send some more Super Dragon Ball Hero cards in. And when I do, I will probably be picking the regular label just because this one costs an extra $2. And I think my next submission is going to be pretty large. But the regular one is kind of like a silver. So it looks good. It looks good. All right, here we go. Not Gem Mint, a Mint 9 Chupacabra. This is the Chupacabra first edition, number 1 holo. Looking pretty cool right there. Nice holographic on it. I would say not necessarily my favorite card, but it looks interesting for sure. And yeah, it's just one of those like weird looking creature things that I thought would look cool in a slab. So that's why I got it. But yeah. And so we will move on to the next one, the Chupacabra. The Chupacabra got a 9 as well. And the Chupacabra, 60-40 centering. Again, the centering is not the best on these cards. Front and back got the same centering. You got Zone 1, Zone 2 were good. Zone 3 does have some edge damage down towards the bottom. And again, I am not really seeing it without a magnifying glass. So I'm not sure. But again, it's very possible that there is indeed some damage on there. I just cannot see it without a magnifying glass. And then Zone 4 has corner 1. So corner 1, I will say that I do see some damage there on the corner. It's very, very slight, but it is visible. So that's why it got a 9. So that is a 9. And so we have so far, we do have a couple more 9s than we do 10s. That's okay. That just means that they grade a little bit tougher, which, you know, is still better than, I think, CGC. They kind of probably grade a little bit more between PSA and CGC. CGC is extremely, extremely difficult to get 10s. So let's take a look. Hodag. Got ourselves another 9 Hodag. This one looking pretty good as well. And I'm not sure what is wrong with this one, but we're going to take a look at the website here and see exactly what went wrong with this particular card. And then the last one is Hodag. Hodag got a 60-40. Again, the centering is not the best for back and front and back. Zone 1s and Zone 2 were good to go. Zone 3 did have some edge damage down at the bottom, which I am seeing a little bit of a white spot on the actual card. So it is definitely there. There's definitely something going on there on the bottom of this card. In fact, both zones down at the bottom do have some slight damage. The backs looked good. No issues with the backs. Yeah, it's looking pretty interesting. There's a QR code there, and the cards look pretty good. Just checking to make sure the card doesn't seem to be moving in there. It's pretty well situated. It looks like they do move around a little bit, but not very much, which is nice. Now, I will say the slab itself looks pretty decent. Like I said, it's a PS. It's kind of like a PSA slab with the frosted, border or whatever it's called. But we are going to compare it to a PSA card because I do have a Pokemon PSA here, and I also have a CGC card as well. So we're gonna take a look and compare them to both of those, and we'll see what you guys think. So one thing I am seeing here is the PSA card is slightly shorter. Okay, so they are not using the same exact slab. In fact, I'm told that they actually make these slabs in-house themselves. So they aren't the same slabs that PSA uses. They look similar, but there are some differences here. The frosted obviously is a similarity here, but for the most part, there is some difference, and one of the main differences is the frosted kind of gets closer to the card on the PSA slab than it does here on the DSG slab, where you've got a clear border around the card that's a little bit bigger. Obviously, the labels are different. The label, I personally like the Arcane label on here, and I think overall the slab looks pretty good. Now, one thing I will say is if you have, like your PSA slab sleeves, they will fit there. Though I am not sure if they will fit into the tighter sleeve. I don't have any of those on hand, so we'd have to take a look at that. But like the perfect fit ones, I mean. All right, so we looked at PSA. Now, obviously, looks very different from CGC. They are bigger than the CGC. The corners are less rounded than the CGC, and of course, the CGC is very, very clear. There is no frosted on that. Now, I will mention this. The slab is definitely heavier than the PSA slab, and it is definitely heavier than the CGC slab. The CGC slab is extremely light. Okay. But, I mean, you can kind of decide for yourself what you prefer. Now, the CGC slab does have a bigger label on it, bigger letters. It kind of helps a little bit with seeing what the grade of the card is. One thing that's always wrong with CGC is they can't center their numbers properly, which just absolutely kills me. However, my personal opinion, I do love the clear plastic over frosted. So I will give CGC a leg up on that particular piece right there. Even over PSA, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm still liking. I think that this looks good. I still think this looks good. But overall, I think that the slab itself, I still prefer CGC. Now, the label, for sure, DSG is making the nicer looking labels. That is absolutely fact right there, at least for me. You guys can decide for yourselves. I do like that the barcode is a little bit bigger on here. It looks nice on the back as well. And One of the great things about this is that they tell you what's wrong with the card, whereas the big three don't tell you anything. They just they'll give you, centering, surface, corners, and edges, but you don't know how they came up with these numbers. You have no idea how they decided that the corners were an 8.5, because they don't tell you which corner is messed up. They don't tell you which edge is messed up. They don't tell you where the issue is, where you do see that here with the DSG. So again, this was a longer video. I know that we kind of went a little long on here, but I know that a lot of people probably haven't seen the DSG slabs, and so I wanted to take my time with this video. I didn't want to rush through it, and I wanted to show you guys exactly why these cards got the specific grade that they got, how they got graded that way, and also kind of give you an overview of my experience so far with DSG. They sent an email to me every step of the way, when they received them, when they graded them, when they slabbed them, encapsulated them, and when they shipped them. And like I said, I placed my order August 31st. I received them today, September 30th, and that means that they had my cards at their facility for less than 30 days. I received it one day before 30 days of putting in the order. And like I said, that does not mean I sent them out on August 31st. In fact, I believe it was several days after that I sent them out. So there's that. Under 30 days, that's always nice, because all the other places are, kind of crazy with the prices. But I'm pretty happy right now with their service. I am definitely going to be sending some more cards in to get graded. I think it's a good grading company. As long as they're being transparent, they're telling you what's wrong with your cards. I absolutely love that. I am to a point where I will not send my cards into PSA anymore. I will not send them to Beckett or CGC until they start providing a service very much like that, where they are telling us, hey, this is why you got a 9. This is why you got an 8. We're paying them to tell us what grade these cards got. And I kind of expect transparency at this point, because if there are smaller companies like DSG that are doing it, companies also like AGS that are going to be doing it, or that are doing it, then I don't see why the bigger companies can't. I think it's very, very useful for the collector. And the fact that you can look up a QR code and see exactly what's wrong with that card. If you look online and you want to buy a DSG card, you can go online, you can look up the QR code on that card that's being sold, say on eBay, and you can look up, all right, well, the left corner has some sort of a slight issue. Not a big deal whether it got a 9 or a 10 or whatever the case is, but you can then decide, okay, let me see if I can see what's wrong with the card in the picture. And if you can't really see it, it might not even be that big of a deal. It might be easier for you to buy it, just give you better peace of mind. In my opinion, that's a great thing. As opposed to when you look at a card on eBay for PSA or for Beckett, and it's, let's say it's an 8, and you're just like, I don't see what's wrong with the card. I don't know what's wrong with the card. You never will, because they don't tell you. And I think that's one of the cool things about DSG. I will say that this is not a sponsored video at all. They did not pay me at all for this video. I paid my own hard-earned money to get my cards graded through DSG. We did have them on the Cardboard Addicts podcast, and if you want to check out that podcast for more information and, basically them telling us exactly what they do, it was an awesome episode, and I'm going to put the link to that episode down below, guys, and you can definitely check that out, because it is well worth watching that podcast if you enjoyed these slabs and you're thinking about potentially sending some cards in. That is definitely an episode you want to take a look at. And also, there's even a discount code on there for you guys on that podcast that you can use for $5 off each card. And so that's actually pretty cool. You get a nice discount. I don't know how long that code is going to be working, but for now it still works. So make sure you go over there, check out that podcast, and use the code if you do decide to send your cards into DSG. And if you don't, and there's anything that you don't like about DSG, keep in mind I also have stuff coming back from AGS, Automated Grading Services, and they're going to be sending me some cards that I sent in, and we're going to take a look at those. Those are going to be Pokemon cards, so I'm very excited for those as well, and I'll be making another video like this one for the AGS one as soon as they come in. Alright guys, I do appreciate you watching. Make sure you go check out the Cardboard Addicts podcast, and I will see you guys in the next one.